Okay, everybody. Well, welcome to the Wellness Biosciences RX daily Zoom call. Guys, these Zoom calls on a daily basis here at 3 o'clock. We're a little bit late today. Is really designed to provide as much information and education about the value-added proposition of a medical-grade CBD that we provide to people and its effects on the endocannabinoid system. Today, myself and my partner are going to walk you through some information. You're going to hear from some leaders in the company. But to kick things off and get things going, guys, one of the things that we have been very blessed with are a group of medical professionals that really have done a phenomenal job at helping us spearhead that community. And we make, our WBRx products are available through medical practices. We have a designated platform for that. But what I'd like to do right now is I'd like to defer to a recording that we did with Dr. Neemish Patel on Tuesday, where he walks us through the information of our Greenway DNA testing that has recently become available, is available through our website, and the relationship that we have with them and the value-added proposition of understanding how your DNA can work to efficiently and let you know about the level of CBD that you should have in your system, and also talk about the meter dose inhaler, which obviously has been spearheading a huge growth at a time when business is not necessarily growing in our country, but right now within WBRx we have a tremendous amount of activity and new growth. So to help you better understand the value of that, what I'm going to do real quickly is I'm going to defer to this recording. So give me just 1 minute. First, let me, forgive me, let me come up and share my screen. Okay. And we'll go here. Take a second to buffer.
Be it alcohol, be it tobacco smoke, whatever we do, we lead to free radical damage. And stress is a big component of that. So the more our body goes through stress, it puts our cells into a stress oxidation.
Okay, guys, stay with me real quick. Try this again.
Oxidative state, and by doing that is when disease occurs. So it ultimately leads to heart disease, it leads to strokes, it leads to other components. So I got really passionate on understanding how to reverse that, and I started looking into other methodologies, which included CBD, which included THC, which included other alternative-based medicines. But the whole basis of that is understanding how a CoQ10 works, how turmeric works, how CBD works, to get a fascination and understanding of, is it really going to make a difference, not only in my patients, but in my loved ones. And my mom suffers from Parkinson's, and she was getting tired of polypharmacy, and medicine's not effectively helping her symptoms, and that's partly why I started looking into it. And she's doing tremendously much better on CBD. So that being said, through my travels and understanding CBD and learning about this medicinal plant that we call cannabis, I realized that it has so many properties, not only the CBD, but terpenes and other things that make a tremendous difference in the outcome of symptom relief. Again, it's not a cure-all, but it's really symptom relief is what most individuals are looking for. And that includes anxiety, that includes pain, it includes insomnia, and other things that have been shown to be a medicinal benefit. And that being said, one of the companies that I ran into and started discussing is most individuals will go try this product because they believe of its medicinal properties. But they'll spend almost 3 to 6 months on a trial error basis. And ultimately, 50% of individuals will never find a solution, but will be out $3,000, $4,000 and be dissatisfied on this trial and error methodology. And that's where I ended up finding DNA technology through Greenway. And Greenway actually provides a personalized, user-friendly, accurate, validated way of basically getting down to the crux of what we all have, which is genetic DNA. And our genetic DNA has these unique proteins which encode and receive and process CBD signals. And they're called single nucleotide polymorphisms, or SNPs. And those SNPs are our genetic makeup. And they help in basically predicting side effects of drugs, the possible effects of drugs, and the dosage required. So the old saying that if you take more of a product, you're going to get a more higher effect is not really true. So I can have a 70-pound individual that does tremendously better on a higher dose and a 250-pound individual that does better on a lower dose. And that's all based on their genetic makeup. And part of that genetic makeup is what DNA technology through Greenway provides. It's a one-time test, and that test will help improve dosing on what amount of dosing of CBD you need for insomnia, what dosing you need for anxiety, what dosing you need for pain. I've personally taken that test. I've had my mom personally take that test. But it gives and provides a 20-page depiction of exactly my genetic makeup and my genome of these 3 million SNPs. And it will give me effective dosing without me having to spend thousands of dollars of constantly trial and error component. So that is a unique thing that Wellness Biosciences provides. There's a link on our website that anyone can go get the test done. It's a one-time test, and it's basically efficient in improving your dosing of the product, which is key. We all take something for a reason, and we take it for efficiency and efficacy to work immediately. I don't want to take 5 ibuprofens if I know I can take 2, and I can still get the same dose effect. And that's exactly what this product does for CBD, which is pretty unique, and it's a validated test. It's personalized. It's really simple. You're just basically providing a little saliva. It gets sent back via the mail, and then you get your results within 3 to 4 weeks. And it just makes dosing that much more efficient. And it's broken down, like I said, into different modalities of pain, anxiety, insomnia. They also have a THC breakdown. Obviously, we're not in that business component, but I think in the near future, when we become a full spectrum component and when deregulation occurs, I think you're going to see individuals tap into both CBD and THC because of its synergistic effects without the psychoactive effects, where you'll get the analgesic effect with the THC and you'll get the anti-inflammatory benefit of the CBD, which all told is going to give you the most synergistic effect on any of those disease states that we discussed. So that's one aspect. The second thing I was going to discuss and kind of talk about in detail is the inhaler, which makes Wellness Biosciences unique. So when we talk about consumption of medication, be it through capsules, through tablets, through gel caps, through even a mixed drink component, it's all based on your absorptivity. So it's based on your gastric lining, but it's also based on your throughput through the liver. So your liver breaks down a lot of these products, and then based on that, you'll get only a percentage of absorption. So even though the medication may say 100 milligrams of CBD, based on your genetic makeup and based on your absorption through your gastric tract, as well as breakdown of the liver, you may be only getting 70% of that 100 milligrams. Well, that's not effective if you ask me, right? So if I know I want to take something and I want to get an immediate effect, then I want to make sure I'm doing it in the best methodology possible. Well, how can we get 100% bioavailability? Well, the only way that we do that in medicine is through IV. So you see a lot of these, wellness IV infusion places popping up. We do it in a medical state from a standpoint of IV antibiotics and everything else. Well, we're not going to inject CBD IV. We haven't gotten to that point, but the next best available component of bioavailability is a meter dose inhaler. And how does that work? So we all have what we call our respiratory system, and our lungs are made up of these alveoli, which are air sacs, and that's where gas exchange occurs, and you get direct absorptivity of a product into your blood system, and that's 98% bioavailability that occurs completely within 5 to 10 minutes. So you get peak plasma concentrations within 5 to 10 minutes of using an inhaler because it gets directly into those air sacs where gas exchange is occurring. So what makes this meter dose inhaler unique? Well, it's backed by an FDA component methodology, and the actual device is FDA approved, which is completely unique. It's the most cost-effective dosing that we have because it's basically, that, hey, if I take one inhalation, I'm going to end up getting that dose to a 99.9% bioavailability component. So I know Barry had asked a question earlier, or someone had asked a question earlier, if someone has lung disease and they only have 65% capacity of their lung, or they have interpulmonary embolisms and they only have 80% of their lung capacity, it's irrelevant of that fact that the inhaler is safe enough that it is going to go ahead and occupy most of those air sacs that are available, and you'll still get that full bioavailability of the capacity of the lung that you do have available without causing any harm. Plus, you're getting safe and accurate dosing, which is very, very important, right? So if I know I want to dose 10 milligrams to a patient, then I'm going to tell them you're going to do 2 inhalations, and you get direct measuring without any messy using a pipette or trying to dose through a mixed drink or something of that nature where you're not knowing what you're going to exactly get. Plus, we're using pure CBD isolate versus a full spectrum oil, so you're getting the best quality component. And the best part is it's fast acting. So if I know I want to take something because I hurt my knee, I can certainly use a balm and rub it into my knee and hope I get, bioabsorption of that product and hope I get an effect pretty quickly. But with this inhaler, I know I'm going to get an effect immediately.
Hey, Barry, I don't think we can hear anything, brother.
Yeah, Barry, can you hear us?
Yeah, I think he's got himself on mute.
We can't hear Patel at all.
Put the product,
There we go.
put it, and when you cap it, you're going to push down on it. And when you push down on it, you're going to slowly inhale. And you're going to do that very slowly. So I'll do it so you guys can see exactly what I'm going to end up doing. So exhale, cap. So what I ended up doing is I held my breath. So slowly I'll inhale that product in, and I'm inhaling through my nose and then holding the product in for 10 seconds to get that deep inhalation down into the lungs. And then you'll hold your breath for 10 seconds. If you can't hold it for 10 seconds, that's fine. And then once you're done with that inhalation, you can breathe normally through your mouth or through your nose. And then if someone that's 5 milligrams. So if I recommend someone to take 10 milligrams, I always advise them to wait 30 seconds before they do the next dose. And that'll allow the lungs to adapt and get that directly into the lungs. So that's a good methodology, and you'll get a good effective dose that gets down into your alveoli, and you'll see the immediate effect of that dose. So Barry, that gives a good consensus of both the DNA technology I wanted to talk about, as well as the meter dose inhaler, along with me kind of depicting how it should be best utilized.
Yeah, Dr. Patel, we certainly appreciate it. I tell you, that's very, very valuable what you just did by giving us a demonstration because we. All right, guys. Well, I want to stop share. And, one of the things that we really value, obviously, is that we've got, Dr. Patel, Dr. Jasani, we're going to have Dr. Punslan, and some of the others that are going to start coming on. I know that many of them have been busy on the front line of what's taking place and offer, education, information. I think there's a defining separation between WBRx in many different respects, but this is certainly one of them, the information that we're getting from our medical professionals. So the other part of it, guys, is, we've talked about the three different things, right? Why is WBRx having growth during a difficult time? One is the social anxiety that has the demand and the need is met with the MDI. The other is people are more accessible, more available. And the third is the leadership of the medical professionals and, of course, our brand partners. So what I'm going to do now is turn the call over to my partner, Sean Baker. And Sean is going to walk you guys through, the testimonial portion of our Zoom call. And we have a lot of good things that are taking place. We've got some new people that are coming on board, I believe, on the call, Sean. And you just go ahead and do your thing. Reach out and let's get some good stories.
Thanks, Barry. Appreciate it. And I really love that piece by Dr. Patel. I know that before the call started, we were all talking about the new technique, new to some of us that have been doing it the wrong way. And Michael said that he was having great results with that video, as well as me personally and the people that I've shared that with. The process of breathing through your nose and taking a very subtle breath has made a huge difference in the consumption of an already phenomenal product. So with that, I want to first introduce Mitchell Holzer. Mitchell, if you're available, I didn't give you any notice, but I know you had a big day. You've had a big week. I mean, you've had some really good stuff going on, lots of conference calls. Today, we actually had a small group meeting there at the office, and all signs point towards go. So come on, if you don't mind, and share with us not only about the product results that you're having or seeing out there, but also what you're doing with a financial background and how you're working with these guys and bringing them on board. Share with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for the ability to share, Sean. And again, as always, I appreciate you and Barry, your leadership and where the company's headed. It's just an exciting time. So yeah, my story is I'd never really used an inhaler before, as I've mentioned before, and I found the inhaler to be a really great tool as far as relaxing, calming experience. But really, what I love about it, I did it right before the call, is the focus is really incredible. I think if you combine that with the gel caps as kind of a foundation of an overall great kind of nutrition regimen, so to speak, it's a great combo. So those are my two go-tos that I've really got the most benefit out of it. So I'm excited about that, excited about sharing. And so just talking to whoever I can, business-minded people that are out there. People need an opportunity. So going into the pharmaceutical sales space, whether it's, my background's been finance, so talking to people in that network, just overall business-minded people. The conversations have been inspiring. They've been fruitful, and so we have a lot of seeds that we're planting. Just as you were referencing here today, I had a great great meeting with both Sean and Barry. I appreciate their time. We have a group that has some contacts in the CBD space, and so they have roughly about 70 dispensaries at their access. So they're talking about how they can get the product into the dispensaries. And so we talked about that. They also have a contact who's very well known in the CBD space. They have a leading magazine in the CBD space that they broadcast to hundreds of thousands of people. The person that owns that magazine, he also has several different stores across the nation, and so contacts with a lot of the big distributors. And so to say this guy was excited yesterday on the initial conference call is an understatement. And so now we're piecing together how the group that's introduced them, how they can come aboard at a PPC level So that was a great meeting, and really just to kind of give people a little bit of inspiration, maybe a little bit, is it was just a phone call away. It was a conversation initially that I had with this person, and then that led to one thing and led to another. And the thing I could share today is you never know what a phone call is going to do. You're one phone call away from really changing your whole business. And so I look back, this process has taken a little bit of time, but it's unfolding very nicely. And that's available for everybody that's on the call today. So if I could share anything, loving the products, loving the leadership, and loving the process of building something and being on the front lines, and really having something that's exclusive that we all have our hands on, and to be able to do it together is a great thing. So I'll turn it back to you, Sean.
Great job, Mitchell, and great job today. I mean, you teed these guys up just right. You already exposed them to the product, exposed them to some information, brought additional product to send them home with. I think everybody left with an inhaler today, if I'm not mistaken. So just did the program perfectly. Great job. I commend you. And I got to tell you guys, as a former distributor, if Barry has any hair loss, I can promise you between about 2002 and 2007 or 8, I am a major contributing factor to any wrinkles or any hair loss or any aging that transpired during that time. Because I was a guy that, it's almost like, and I'm just being honest with you guys, we all have a list, right? Whether it's on a Big Chief pad with a crayon or whether it's on a very sophisticated Excel spreadsheet, whatever Outlook, whatever you use. I was a guy, my confessional to all of you today, that without even knowing it, I kind of had categories of people. I had the people that I was very comfortable calling. I had the people that I didn't really have a relationship maybe, and I didn't really care if they said yes or no. So I was comfortable calling those. And then I had a group of people that I thought, well, once I'm successful and once I've made $1 million, then I can go to this group of people. And it's funny because it was the group of people that I would go to last that, if I'm being honest with you guys, would scold me for not coming to them sooner. And I'm not putting that on you, Mitchell. I'm making this about me. But I was afraid to call a guy. There's a guy, matter of fact, Barry remembers him well, a guy named David Kilson, good friend of mine. We played golf together. We worked together when I was at Enterprise. He owned Northwood Lincoln Mercury. He owned a car dealership. And when in my mind, because he sold the dealership for, I know, $3-4 million. He was a 50% partner. So I know he did well in the transaction. He was wealthy, played golf every day. I saw him at the country club. He basically came to me and said, man, I've got to find something to do. I'm looking for an opportunity. And even then, he was on that elite list, and I didn't go for it right then. It took me, and I'm just, again, being honest with you guys, it took me having what I perceived to be some success before I would make that critical phone call. Like you're saying, Mitchell, I made one phone call. He showed up to an event, excited to be there, got involved that weekend. I mean, we came Friday, Saturday, we were meeting on Sunday, and by Monday he had transacted, and the highest rank back in that day, just so you guys have a point of reference, back in that day, it was a $240,000 President's Partnership Club rank, and he did that on Monday. So like you said, Mitchell, it's that one phone call. And I don't know if it's Mitchell Holzer. I don't know if it's Gail. I don't know if it's Ruben. You don't know who that call is. So make your list and call everybody. And no pun intended, but just share your testimony, offer to provide them free product, send them a Zoom link just like this call, be transparent, and then let God sort them out, so to speak. So I just want you to know I'm really proud of you for not taking a year or two like I did and frustrating Barry, and I had frustrated Barry back in the day. Thank you for stepping out. Thank you for having faith in the product and the organization. And frankly, and I say this with the utmost respect, thank you for having faith in yourself. You're a good, astute business guy. You're a guy that wouldn't get involved with something that wasn't credible. Your people know that, and you're doing the right thing. So I commend you. I congratulate you. And we are going to get these people into the fold. You believe you, me. So with that, I'll kick it now over to Cindy. I know Cindy has been out exercising today, getting her vitamin D through sunshine and getting her sprints in with her mom, which I think is great. But in addition, she had just shared with us that she was out delivering product today because people are experiencing a higher level of anxiety right now than maybe they normally would. And so she hasn't let this slow her business down. So Cindy, share with us what you've had going on.
So basically, I've just been kind of, I have another business, my magazine business, and work with the residents of Tanglewood as well as, my business partners. And so while I'm out trying to make sure that stays working and I'm there for my clients, so that, and of course you're going to have a little bit of upset with everything that's going on because, some businesses just aren't going to make it, and some people are. And so when I'm out talking to everybody, I'm just talking, and and stress comes up, and of course I don't really look stressed because I'm out running. And yesterday I did all my work from the beach watching my son, and it was last minute. He literally goes, "I'm gonna go to the beach and go fishing with my friends," and I was like, "Oh, where at?" And he tells me, I'm like, "Well, how long?" And I'm like, "Well, I was just gonna work at the park, so I could just do it looking at the ocean, so I'm gonna do that." And so when I'm talking to people, it just inherently they're asking what's going on. And I'm like, well, I've been using this awesome inhaler. and so I had several deliveries yesterday. Before we went, I actually needed to drop the car off, and I thought, oh, it's last minute, and maybe with it being slow, I can get in. So I called the dealership, spoke to my guy. Of course, he was able to get me in. I'm visiting with him, and he tells me how they're doing these split shift stuff. And I was actually surprised he could get me in and get me a loaner car last minute like that, but he had plenty to choose from because they were going from 200 appointments a day down to, at the most they've hit was 82 one time. So I'm talking to him about the CBD inhaler, and he wants one. And so I actually was on my way. He saw that I had some with me. And while I was on the way, I only grabbed one extra just in case I got a phone call while I was out, which I ended up getting a phone call while I was out to drop off another one. And so he saw them sitting there, and I'm talking to him about it. So now when I come pick up my car, I'm supposed to bring him one too. So I'm just really talking to anybody and everybody about it. When I'm talking, whether it's a resident to do an article about them, or one of my business partners, or a new client with a Zoom call. And so I'm also talking to an acupuncturist who is looking at advertising in my magazine, who I'm also going to be talking to about the inhalers and putting them in there too. So, just as I'm having these Zoom calls for my other business, it doesn't matter who it is. I just talk to them about CBD. I just kind of throw it in at the end. Or if that's the focus, if that happens to be the doctor or whatever, then I make it a separate appointment altogether. But either way, I talk to pretty much everybody and their brother about CBD. Of course, my family, they're like, oh my God, here she goes again. But people are stressed out there, and it helps. And the video is great. In fact, when I give them the box, I make it a point to have them do the QR code, because the video is very well done. I think they like that they immediately see the video while I'm standing there, and then they feel kind of better about it. So it looks professional. I think it's great. So that's kind of what I've been doing with getting my product moving. Oh, and then I have the displays all ready, and I'm going to be delivering those. I'll tell you all about that later. That's it.
Awesome. Well, great job, Cindy. I appreciate you sharing that. And Art, if you don't mind coming on with your fresh haircut, we'll have you close out the call just because you shared some things yesterday. If you don't mind sharing again, I thought were just very touching and very impactful. I mean, you being transparent about your use of pharmaceutical, medications. I know that most of you guys probably already know this, but I mean, there is an epidemic going on right now with the opioid crisis. 1,500 people per day perish from the use or abuse of opioids. But that number does not include the number of people that essentially are ruining their marriages. They're ruining their relationship with their children. They're losing a career many times, a long-term career, and not quote unquote doing anything wrong. I mean, they were in pain. They had an issue. Their doctor wrote them a prescription. It helped alleviate the pain or other issues they're having. Then all of a sudden, because of the chemical compounds, they're addicted. I mean, and I'm not for or against, I'm just using as an example. I mean, you take someone like Tiger Woods, who obviously had some other life going on, but sustained a significant and serious medical back injury, could have cost him his career, and then ends up getting addicted. I mean, there are a number of people that you think would just about be untouchable. Money's no object. Lifestyle is par plus, and their life's great. And they get on these little white pills, that they have a legitimate reason for. And then all of a sudden they look up and they don't even recognize their own situation. And so, Art, if you don't mind coming on, and I'm not putting you in that category by any means, I'm just saying you were very kind and transparent to share about some of your past. So if you don't mind, tell us again how the product has helped alleviate some of your medication use and hopefully helping you alleviate the source of the need for that medication to begin with. So Art, I'll kick it over to you.
Thanks, Sean. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. I really appreciate you giving me an opportunity to share my story. And although it's not something that, I necessarily was proud of as it unfolded, as I looked back, it's one of my biggest assets because my experience has been able to help others who've been in the crosshairs of addiction, because it's so real. And my battle started way back in '94 when I first reached out for help. I was completely controlled by hydrocodone, and I had to have it just to function. It took 10 years of a lot of work in recovery, a lot of meetings, and most importantly, God's grace entering my life to help me win that battle. And I'm so blessed that, since 2004, I've never been in that situation again. However, part of that battle was the doctor's use of other prescription medications to help me deal with the same things I was using pain medication for, dealing with anxiety and just how I felt. And to relieve those cravings, so they put me on a couple of very strong medications, Suboxone to deal with the hydrocodone addiction, and clonazepam for anxiety. And it worked. I haven't had craving for it. I haven't abused any medication, even when I've been prescribed a narcotic post-surgery. I was able to use them as prescribed and throw them away. And so that was truly a gift. However, after being on those for 10 plus years, and a couple of times just trying to wean myself off, or just quit cold turkey, I couldn't deal with the withdrawals and the anxiety and how I felt and still function in my work. So I just stayed on it. And so since then, I got involved with you guys in late February and started using the inhaler, and I started adding on the gel caps and the tinctures. With the goal, my primary goal was to see what would happen as I cut back on this thing, on those medications, and just see how it would work this time. And today I am, I'm taking 75% less of those medications in only a month of using these products, and I've had absolutely no withdrawals at all. I feel better than I felt in years. And, I really believe this is a testimony that God's going to be able to use powerfully through me, because there's so many people I know in recovery that are struggling right now, in and out. And some don't make it back, Sean. Some we never see again, because that deadly disease kills them or ends them up in prison. And, I can't go out and make claims this is going to do the same for them, but I can share my experience and, offer them an alternative. And I'm not saying this is the place of recovery meetings or anything else they're doing, but this may be something that can help, maybe some medications they're on. I'm even thinking about my antidepressant that I'm on. Can I slowly wean off of that too? I want to do it with my doctor's advice, and I'm including him in on this. I can't wait to share with him on our next visit where I'm at, because he treats so many patients just like me. So maybe this will become a tool of his. So I hope that, accomplished what, you wanted me to share today. And I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be transparent and share my story. Thanks so much.
Perfect job. And it takes a big man or woman. It takes a big person to be willing to be vulnerable and share like that. So we commend you. We appreciate you. We love you, man. It's great and such a great story for so many others to share, because some people don't have the same afflictions that others do. But to know that it helps someone, it's kind of like the kid on the beach, that's throwing back the starfish, and the guy says, what are you doing? You can't you can't make a difference to all these starfish. You say, I made a difference to that one, and so that's just a very compelling and touching story. So thank you for sharing that. Gail, I'm going to come to you. You look all dressed up and look like you're out and about. So if you want to unmute your phone and tell us what, get into your business, tell us what you've been doing all day. We'd love to hear about it.
You're funny. So I ran out into the parking lot a second ago. I actually talked my hairdresser into opening up his small little shop to let me in, and I brought.
You look good, girl.
So it's all about thanks. Hey, thanks. I like to say I went to Walgreens and bought the color myself. And but the cool thing is that I had 4 friends join me, and so I had an audience of people in there. And one of them was from Lufkin, the other was from like Bandera, Texas. I mean, so they come from all over the place, because this guy is a very private hairdresser kind of person. It's like secret, secret behind the scenes type deal, which makes us so perfect. But the cool thing is I was able to share this story. I'm very new at this. For those of you that know me, I'm really, really, really new. And so I'm trying to figure out how to present this. And it was so well received by everybody. And before I go on and talk about my own personal experience, and I apologize if my screen is shaky, it's because I'm sitting in my car. I finally got my computer on. I appreciate Art so much, because Art is the first person that reached out to me when I started this business after my sponsor brought me on. And Art, the phone call that we had, I think we were both sitting in separate parking lots, like within probably 50 miles of each other. And your message really moved me, because just knowing I worked in the medical industry for a long time, and I fully believe in wellness and wellness products above and beyond synthetic medications. And although I've worked for lots of doctors, I just truly believe in that. And I appreciate your message. I appreciate your transparency, because I think you can help so many people. And by doing so, you actually helped me, because you helped me make my message a whole lot stronger than before. And I want to thank you, Art. So now what I will tell you is that I've sampled a lot of people. I invested at the $2,400 level, whatever it was. I came on in, Sean, when you and I first spoke. That was very important to me, that I dove right into this, because I don't want to waste time. At this point, I don't want to waste time doing anything. And I realize this is a company I'm not wasting my time with at all. I wholeheartedly believe in it. I can't wait to make progress and take big steps instead of little baby steps. But I will say this, is that the people that I've sampled and my own self personally, it has made the incredible difference in my personal life for me. My dog's probably really happy, and I'm sure my dad is. And as a matter of fact, my dad and I are about ready to buy the DNA, go online and do the DNA deal. My dad has dementia. Slow forming dementia. They call it cognitive disorder, however doctors, proclaim that. But it is true. It's happening. And I want to see what this will do for my dad. And also for me, I am a daughter who has now become a caretaker, and a girl that lost her job, a month ago, 2 months ago. And I'm in a full stress position where it's a desperate position for so many people. But I will say that WBRx and our products have helped me so much, and have actually given me clarity, and have helped my friends. But I also want to make it my business and my career. Doesn't come natural for me to be a part. I told Barry this when I visited with him, it's different for me, because it's a different kind of structured environment. I have to restructure myself, but we have so much support with this company and our leadership. And this is what I want to talk to everybody about. And if I have a chance to share my story or speak to anyone, I don't want to necessarily just speak about the product. I want to speak about the leadership Because when you're someone like me that's come from an industry where you work as a physician liaison or in business development for major medical corporations, where you have backing from these big systems, and all of a sudden you're just thrust out on your own, and then what do you have? Well, guess what we have? We have the Barrys and the Shawns and the Arts and Mitchell and the people that brought me on, you know, my good friend Ruben, other people that are our business leaders. So it's a different kind of business. And that is what I'm working on right now. It's like I'm working on writing about this because this is so important to me, because I've never, ever been this alone in my whole life where I haven't had structure. So I've got the product, which is really helping me, of course. And thank goodness I have this. And, you know, I thank God every single day that this company came into my life, because it came into my life at the perfect time where I never would normally be open to network marketing or brand partner or things that are so uncertain to me that I don't understand. But we have leaders that are amazing. And I will eventually start sharing my story a whole lot more, but I hope I have the opportunity to talk about the leadership aspect of it, and that we're a different kind of brand marketing company. And so we will talk about that later. And I know I've talked a lot, but I just want y'all to know that just today I drove from Clear Lake to Houston, an hour drive, and I was able to share the product with 5 people, and who knows what's going to happen with that. And guess what? I don't care. I made my investment on faith alone, and I will share this with as many people as I possibly can and hope that this proves to be as beneficial for others as it has for me. And I thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. And Sean, I appreciate your prayers, because you prayed over me that one day, and that was a big hit for me, and I thank you. And I'm a big believer in the power of prayer and the power of leadership and friendship. So I'm here for any one of you, just like Art was for me. He reached out to me by telephone out of the blue. Thanks, Art. So thank you, Sean and Barry, and Dr. Patel, Dr. Jasani, and everybody else. Love you guys.
Great job, Kim. Thank you for sharing. And we love to hear your story unfold. And yes, I look forward to actually shaking your hand and meeting you someday in person. But hey, we're doing what we got to do right now. So great job. Last but not least, as we kind of round out the call, I know Ryan Rennick's up in Dallas. He's kind of on an island up there. Not that we're not all on an island right now, wherever we are, but Ryan especially is a market leader. He's new to the organization. He just joined us on April 1st, so about 24 days ago, coming up on his first month. And the guy's already knocked down a PPC, a $30,000 volume order in his first week. He's now subsequently got 2 more kind of on the hook. So Ryan, if you don't mind, throw your camera on and unmute and share with us what you've got going on, and inspire folks who maybe are not having the success that you are right now. You're definitely on a hot streak, and rub some of that luck off on everybody. So share with us.
Well, I appreciate you and Barry for giving me this opportunity. I appreciate you saying I'm on a hot streak, but in all honesty, I'm never satisfied. So I just got to keep on trucking along. And you know me, I'm a very in-person person, I guess you would say. So I can't wait for all this to blow over, start traveling, and start going to dinners with people. And because I love being able to socialize with people and actually interact with them personally. So I can't wait for that. And man, I'm blown away hearing some of these stories. I think in business overall, something that you must utilize is a story that you have. And everybody does have a story, but not everybody does know how to utilize their story. And with a company like WBRx being in health and wellness and having the products that they have, and with CBD in particular, I have a background with that and a story from my dad dealing with his leukemia since I was in 8th grade, and me dealing with concussions from football and getting hit by a drunk driver, and suffering from depression and anxiety later on in life when I got to college. It's really the synchronicity with WBRx and the stories and the leadership and everything that is put together with this company. It really has such a strong entourage effect to where it's so strong. And I've never seen a presence like this when the product matches with the stories so well with any other direct sales company. And I grew up in direct sales, and I swear to God, I've seen so many seminars, so many different companies, with calls, and none of them have had the storylines and the inspiration that this company has, and the leaders and the prospects on these calls. I mean, it's unmatched. And I'm so happy that I'm in a position with a company that is helping people through this very rough time in the world. And I mean, I'm only 23 years old and I'm just getting started, and I can't wait to see, where this rocket ship goes. And I liked what Mitchell said earlier, one call, you don't know when that call is going to be that can really change, your way of life and everything you do. So I encourage everybody to make that list and just, keep on knocking those names off, and just, be persistent, but not too persistent. And, you never know when that you get that fish on the hook, if it's going to be the big one. And, I'm very blessed to work with you guys, and I can't wait for, see where this goes over the next few months. So I will kick it back over to you, Sean, and thanks again.
Great job, Ryan. And I have to correct something I said. I said, you've been really lucky. Nothing lucky about this young guy. I mean, he's been sharp since the day I met him. We met in Las Vegas, and larger than life. His dad's a wonderful man. He's been in the space, and on both sides, where he's been, sold to the industry and bought through the industry. And so Ryan has grown up. Seeing tons of companies. I'm talking $100 million, $1 billion companies that he could have been a part of their organization. So we're honored to have you, Ryan. We know that your dad's endorsement does not come lightly. You could have been with any company, probably in a leadership position with anybody. And so for you, through your father, to have chosen Wellness Biosciences, I mean, we just feel richly blessed by both of you. So thanks for sharing your story. Great job. And you get better every time you get on these calls, man. So keep it up. Barry, before I kick it back over to you, I do just want to share one more thing. Cindy threw me a text that said, Pat, her wonderful but somewhat skeptic husband threw his back out. And I did probably 3-4 months ago. You did 2 months ago. And so we both know what it's like to be in back pain. But she said that he was able to turn to the CBD balance capsules and the meter dose inhaler. And just through the weekend, he's already walking straight again. He didn't have to get on any kind of prescriptive medication or go to the doctor or anything like that. So again, just another, whether it's acute pain and something that you do just to alleviate some temporary symptoms like a back pain, or whether it's something you embrace as a lifestyle choice like Barry and I have, and many of you on the call, where it's just part of your daily regimen. There's a multitude or multifaceted uses for the product. So it's such a great timing for both the product and the opportunity. Great job on the call, everybody, today. These calls just get better and better. We're recording, we're building a heck of a library. And it's for you. Believe me, we're building this library for you to be able to pick and choose links. Dr. Patel, Barry, Sin Lee, Art, Gail, whomever it may be. You may want to be able to share a snippet with somebody, and you're going to have a library full of stuff to do that as we continue to grow. So with that, Barry, it's 3:55. I'll kick it back over to you. And I got to commend you, brother. You work hard and you do great every day, but today especially, you just really put your best foot forward with this big group of people that we've got coming on, and I know good things are going to happen. So I'm grateful for you and appreciate all that you do, man. Unmute, brother.
Yes, I was just saying, great job, brother. I think the testimonial segment of this particular call was really well executed, and congratulations to everyone that came on and shared. And I know that we've got a lot of great things going on in the company as we kind of conclude the month of April. Again, an entire month in isolation, people not able to conduct their lives in the normal fashion that they would, kids at home going crazy, all kinds of things that would typically create and cause distraction on some levels. Just the what's required to just measure the mental fortitude to continue forward, at a time when it's not easy, and yet we have tremendous business going on. I was talking with Art, and he's got some great things happening. And I know that he's got a meter dose inhaler kit, the 40-pack kit that's going to move. I think Hunter is bringing on some phenomenal people on the retail side that we're so genuinely excited about. I know that, we've got great things going on, as we talked about with Mitchell. And I know that Ryan, those two guys lining up to bring on people at the PPC level. And all of this, guys, is really not the atypical, as of what's taking place. Wonder where we're going to be here pretty quickly when we can actually have a meeting. but we can actually commune with one another and actually have our medical professionals and our leaders that are sharing what took place at a time when we were all in isolation. I genuinely do believe that our company will always remember this time as the time that designed it, and if you will, we drew a line in the sand, and the leadership emerged when our company started to go through its explosive growth. And I think that as we get down the road and we get into the months of, June, July, August, we'll reflect back to this time, but that time is going to be far bigger than this time. And guys, I think 2020 is going to be a magnificent year. I mean, I know that we've got all kinds of things that are out there, the negativity, the challenges that are associated with that, but I think that you guys have done a phenomenal job. I'm proud to be a part of this and have a role here, because I know what's going to happen. I know there's going to be some people at a very young age that'll become seven-figure earners. I know there's going to be some people that we haven't even yet introduced to the business that are going to take a hold of this and make it, as Gail said, a career. That didn't perceive that to be the case, but as we start to get involved and we start to create community and we start to support one another, amazing things are happening. So thank you guys for taking the time to be here, guys. It's our honor to be able to come on and host these calls. I know sometimes they're longer than others, but I just think that everyone's getting a huge amount of value and benefit over just sharing time with one another at a time where we're, unless it's our family or someone that we know, that may not be the case. And actually, I had a chance to see Sean for the first time in a long time outside of the golf course today here at the office. And it was good to see people. I really, we had a room full of folks, that all knew one another, and there was a certain level of social distancing that was taking place. But I just think we're all dying to get around each other. We're all dying to just be part of that same sense and feel when we can just sit with one another and spend quality time. And so if nothing else has taken place during this time, I think it's all of us understanding the value of each of us. So thank you guys so much for taking the time. Guys, tomorrow we'll be again at 3:00. We're looking forward to all of you that are closing out the week. We've got a phenomenal week in store next week as we close out the Saturday morning 10 o'clock call. We're going to go through our comp plan. We're excited about that and all that is to come with that. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. God bless. Have a phenomenal day. And we'll see you tomorrow here at 3:00. Bye-bye.